Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description.
This is how it happens sometimes. You wake up in the morning, and above you green branches are swaying in the wind, and the grass is earring nearby. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm really high, but you can't do anything, because a crowd of individuals in black cloaks with red clouds has already gathered around you. That's what happened to me, a simple Lena from a simple world. But you know what the problem is? No, it's definitely all canonical to the best third-rate fan fiction: a forest, a girl, a crowd of men. One small problem: I'm sitting on the ground, and these men barely reach my shoulders. Dwarves, here. I feel like Snow White. Or hobbits, FCK. Oh, yeah, I'm Gandalf. I'll go and scream that no one will pass. I stared at the little things for a few seconds, recognizing all the Akatsuki details in them, scaled down 3, if not 4 times. I would only need one finger to kill Haydn, who was freaking out at my appearance. Yeah, man, haven't you seen a big woman? Why didn't I get to the Founders era? That would have been awesome. I would have chased Madara and his brother, sincerely trying to crush both bastards to hell. How I hate them. Who are you? Payne's stern voice sounded loud, because he thought I wouldn't hear his squeak. He was right, it was the only way I could hear his voice. A smooth-skinned demon man, I answered pompously, sitting cross-legged. Fortunately, I was wearing jeans, otherwise I would have had to worry about them getting under my skirt, for example, to hide from the rain. And you are Akatsuki, or what? We are Akatsuki, Deidara said with his disgustingly small mouth. And do you know what will happen to you if you meet us? He narrowed his blue eye, frantically digging in the clay. It's like a puppet theater, really. I, not intending to respond to stupidity, stood up, gloomily noting that all the Nukanins were breathing down my knees. Without thinking twice, I decided to freak out. I don't need you, stupid men. She raised her hand to her forehead, theatrically. I'm the only one of my kind, and you're here to threaten me. No one will marry me, healthy as I am, and there are no more like me in these parts. And, suddenly imbued with her problem, she began to sob in earnest, squatting down and covering her face with her hands. Akatsuki fell silent, embarrassed. It was unlikely that they were dealing with hysterical giantesses. Haydn was the first to come to his senses. Hey, do you need a husband? The Zayasinovets stepped forward. I took my hands away from my face and, sniffling, looked at him. I need a husband. Just not you, she curled her lips. I need a husband, not a dick enlarged by chakra. You don't have enough chakra to satisfy me, you arrogant moron. And you're as creepy as my life, she rose sadly. What? Matsurashi yelled, to the laughter of his colleagues. I'll show you now. And he rushed at me with a scythe. Do you know how hurt I was? I revealed my sincere feelings to him. You could say I confessed my hatred, and he came at me with a weapon. The slick-down bastard. And without hesitation, I rushed to put pressure on him. They barely stopped me, and even then, only with the help of Kakuzu, who simply stood between me and my partner, putting his fist up like a block. Pfft, she lifted her nose in an offended manner. You are evil, I'm leaving you. You won't be able to help a poor girl, so I have nothing to do with you. By the way, she spotted Itachi in the crowd, who was looking at me with hidden interest in his Sharingans. You're not bad, you'll go with beer. Too bad you're small, otherwise I wouldn't have left you alone. And then the Sharingan lit up in his eyes. And before I could say wow, I was immersed in the fascinating world of Tsukiyomi. And it's not so bad here, the sky is all red, the crosses are black, and Itachi standing next to him with a katana is also in black and red. And he was the same height as me. You're a real man, I raised my eyebrows, trying to move on the cross. What, are you going to torture me? Go ahead, I'm ready to do almost anything. For a demon, your aura of hatred is too weak, Uchiha drew his katana. And I couldn't help but grin widely. By the way, honey, do you know that maniacs usually use a knife, replacing she stared at his pants. Of course, I don't mind, she returned her gaze to his face. And if I like it, you watch out, you won't leave me alone later, yeah. Itachi's face didn't distort in any way, because he was a clone and an illusion. "This is Tsukiyomi," he said. "I'm going to torture you here for 72 hours. "Fabulous," I said, nodding. 3 days alone with such a handsome man. "Untie me, boy, I won't resist anyway." In response, I was pierced by a katana. My scream shook the world. And a few more smooth inputs and outputs into the body of the sword. And a few more loud groan screams. Clones appeared nearby, a real gangbang, nothing less. Everything stopped suddenly, both the screams and the blows. There were no wounds or pain, only the world of Tsukiyomi again and Itachi standing in front of him with his katana drawn. Wow, that was awesome. "Will you do it again?" I said excitedly. The world jerked but didn't disappear, and then silent blows followed. It was an awesome feeling, really. Firstly, consider BDSM, and even with one of the hotly beloved characters, if only he had drawn his other sword, it would have been even better, hee hee. Secondly, the brain did not switch off, knowing that it was an illusion. Pain aside. When everything stopped for a moment, there was a feeling of immortality. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. And it was so awesome that I wanted to feel it again and again. And I love screaming in pain or just screaming. 3 days later, when I had already managed to get used to the slight discomfort, think about the meaning of life for the purpose of my getting here and stare at my beloved Uchiha for the remaining days, everything stopped. I suddenly fell out of the illusion and dropped to one knee. Around me was the same clearing and the same Akatsuki. "That was beyond praise," I said enthusiastically, trying to catch my breath. Rasengan to my eye. "Let's do it again, okay?" I tried to get up, but couldn't. "Ugh, I can't even walk from your sadomasochistic therapy sessions," I showed him my thumb. Itachi had a crease between his eyebrows. This was the only way he showed his feelings that I didn't recognize. "Oh, and it doesn't matter, I'm a giantess, and he's almost a corpse, we definitely won't be together." "She's some kind of weirdo," Kisame said skeptically. "She's definitely a demon." "She's an ordinary person," Uchiha replied. "But with a slight anomaly." "In what place is it small, huh?" Deidara glanced at them, blinking his eyes. "Hey you," Pain said to me. "Would you like to join the Akatsuki organization?" My name is Lena. I didn't want to get up, otherwise my neck would hurt from constantly looking at my feet at these gnomes. "If you have problems with the letter L, call me Rin." Honestly, 3 days in Tsukiyomi cooled my ardor. Or maybe I just got fucked hard, so I calmed down. "I don't know about the organization. You're busy taking over the world, right? And I don't really care about the world, I'd rather go to the beach and swim in the sea for days on end. Let's part peacefully, okay? I'll gladly pretend that I'm completely blind, deaf and dumb, and have never seen anyone or heard of anything." "Why should I believe you?" The Rinnegan looked cold. "Oh, come on," I smiled, stopping myself from reaching out and patting Tendo on the cheek. Conan, who was standing next to me, would have torn my arm off up to my ass for that. "You, my merciful God, would you deny virtue to someone who humbly asks you for it?" "You're lying," Pain chuckled, still hurt by my flattery. "I'm not lying," I shook my head. "I'm a demon, I tempt, heh. If you allow me, I'd like to stay out of your human squabbles altogether. Can I make peace with your great organization?" "You flatter well," the leader was sure of his thoughts. "But I will give in to your words and let you go. From the bottom of my heart, bro." I clapped my hands, getting up from my seat. "Hey, can I have Uchiha, huh? He's awesome, he tortures so much that it's awesome, my legs are still buckling." "Bye, Rin." Pain turned around and the entire organization quickly jumped into the trees. "Uchiha!" I shouted after him. "Find me some other time, okay?" In response, a red-eyed warrior of the damned clan with an impassive face turned to me. I only winked at him, sending him an air kiss and dancing a squatting lesjinka. He didn't react to this at all, he just made a super ascetic expression on his face and turned back in a martyr's manner, completely disappearing into the greenery. Three white horses, galloping galloping across the field. Guess what we have, and we have a party I sang to the whole forest, jumping like a mountain goat for joy. "So what?" Akatsuki left without even trying to harm me. Well, almost, but I don't consider that BDSM to be harm. I'm alive and well, heading off to look for Konoha. I have chakra, I feel it in myself, and it makes me want to dance as if I had been hit by an electric shock. Or maybe it was my blood boiling with joy. Apparently, I can easily use seals and other things. Well, I remember them approximately, only I will break my fingers when folding them, but that's not a problem. She folded the 6 seals that she remembered, and, not impressed by this, said, "Well, technology." And I was lifted into the air. Turning around, I saw that there were wings on my back, ordinary feather wings like an eagle's. What I was screaming with delight about only pain knows, as God knows. All that's left is to land and learn the seal of summoning wings. Or whatever that thing is called. Equals 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 equals. Bloopers. And we have a party AA, the second letter U is missing. Beta comment, the letter U really went for a walk. Equals 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 chapter 2. Summoning animal equals 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 equals. The wings disappeared as soon as the technique was cancelled. It's really cool to have wings. I'm almost half eagle. Oh, I'll be the local eagle who comes to the rescue. Hubie attacked? Call the eagle. Madara is raging? Call the eagles. Sasuke needs to be brought back? Call. And fuck you. Gandalf isn't here, TCH. From the air it was clear that there was a desert nearby. It was unlikely to be the Sahara, so I immediately realized that this was the land of wind, and I was in some asshole like the land of river swamps, hemp. The latter, by the way, would have made a good country, it would have raked in so much dough. I was hungry. The squirrels, like the hares, were like midges, so they quickly ran away from my feet. And to eat raw. Who would find so much activated carbon later? Spitting on everything and seeing bushes ahead, apparently raspberries, I stepped towards them. Now raspberries are like strawberries to me, especially in terms of the height of the stem. I sat down to pick a berry, and a bear quickly ran out of the bushes. Such a cute one, brown, barely reaching my knee. Stop, Mishka. I chased after him, because where else would I be able to cuddle a whole bear? Now I'd like to cuddle Kurama, and then Itachi would give in to me. The bear ran away. Brown bitch. Having washed away my grievance with raspberries, but not having eaten a damn thing, I summoned my wings again and flew straight to the west, where, in my opinion, Suna was located. After all, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to squeeze Gaara too. Flying, you know, is hellish work. I don't know how birds cope, but I had to move only at night, only 3 by 3 hours, and I got to the borders of Suna. Honestly, I even lost track of time. But not less than a week. It got dark. I flew up to the outpost, cutting through the air with my soft wings, and flew into the village ring. Where is our Kazakage's house? Of course, they are waiting for me. And if they are waiting, I can't not show up. Luckily for me, Gaara was walking down the street. Do you know what caught my eye about him, but for some reason didn't stop me? His age. He was small, about 12 years old, so I could barely make him out with my eagle eyes. I landed on a building, bit my lips, thinking that he was already kind when he was small. Having decided so, I took off and... The 4th Kazakage. Alive. Walking towards his son. That's it. Hello, a glass of adventure for me and my ass at table 5, thank you, I laughed to myself, looking around Suna and realizing that I was in a bit of trouble, because they noticed me, and there was no sign of friendliness from them. Thinking that maybe everything would be okay, I lowered myself from my height, placing my feet on the road and realizing that Gaara was somewhere around my ankle. Hello, she waved her hand in a friendly manner. I'm a demon, let's be friends. That's how easy it is. That's why I was very surprised when Gaara muttered something angrily while transforming. A cloud of kunai flew at me from the houses, and the 4th yelled at someone to run and hide, as it turned out Temari and Kankuro. Well, that's a bummer, I'm even upset. I want to be friends. You're evil, I sighed, shaking my braid. I flew away from you. and before I could spread my wings, they grabbed me by the leg and threw me away. Damn, they threw me. Who is this? Shikaku towered not only over me and the village. Yamana. I can't even hide with my height. God, give me some kind of technique, oh, I beg you. Maybe I should summon someone? I thought, running headlong from the desert demon, who, with the grace of a hippopotamus, whistling and whooping, was rushing after me, trying to grab me by the wings. Just to remove them. A summoning technique would help. I would summon a huge eagle or a demon right now, who would carry me away or protect me. Nodding to myself, I made the seals 3 times, because nothing worked. I ran out of Suna territory. Shikaku happily followed me. What else was needed for the summoning? Exactly, blood. It dawned on me when they almost broke my arm, throwing my tail a decent distance away. Gnawing her finger, she made seals. Summoning technique. I screamed as loudly as possible, so that everyone could hear that I was a cool ninja and not made up by a finger. The smoke cleared. There were no dragons/demons/eagles in sight. In the darkness that followed, I made out a silhouette and managed to catch it and roll away before Shikaku, like a beaver, would have slapped me with his tail. A muffled, puzzled cough distracted me from the sand demon for a moment. I knelt down and looked at the one I was holding to my chest. I'm surprised, Itachi said, pressing his small palms against my chest so that I wouldn't completely strangle him. You? I was amazed, letting him go. But I called the eagle. Itachi, standing on my knee as if on a hill, looked into the distance with a puzzled expression, examining the one-tailed one. The summoning technique worked on me. Why? He turned around and looked me in the eyes. Why are you asking me? I goggled. I'm not a reference book. I threw up my hands. And under his gaze I exhaled, well, maybe because I'm a demon, and you made a contract with me when you so carelessly tortured me in Genjutsu. I smiled dirty and raised my eyebrows. Now we can summon each other, yes yes. An absolutely useless summoning animal, Uchiha, sternly cut off my dreams, jumping onto the sand. Come on, help me, listen, I whined, getting to my feet. Please. You're a demon. You have to handle it yourself. Grimly seeing the approaching cheerful one-tailed, she summoned her wings and, grabbing the Uchiha by the scruff of the neck, pressing him to her chest, she rushed into the sky, so that Shikaku's clawed paw closed in the void. Don't be so silent, she glanced at Uchiha, who was burning me, with a reproachful look. I flew away, because then you wouldn't point Tsukiyomi at me, otherwise we'd both crash. I'll be gone before your head hits the ground, he said. Yes? She stared at him. Damn, she paused, looking at the stars. Where should I throw you? She sighed sadly. Cancel the summoning technique. Oh, Uchiha, why are you so angry, huh? I drawled sadly, discreetly feeling my small shoulder with my fingers. Okay, the hell with you. Holding it with one hand, she dispelled the technique. So what happens? Evil people all around, Akatsuki is thriving but not progressing, Gaara is small and evil, the 4th Kazekage is alive. It turns out to be a scribe. Such a beautiful, fluffy, white one. From the tundra. She descended to the ground, put away her wings, and walked. To hell with it all. Tomorrow I'm flying to the seas, because everyone here is evil, I don't know anyone. Chapter 3. Dancing naked is fraught with danger. I hadn't been flying over the forests for a couple of days when I suddenly encountered a problem. By that time I had already reached the outskirts of the water country, because I could fly over the trees without stopping, and I had gotten used to the wings. So here's the problem. Why, tell me, did this not pass me by, a half-demon? Is it because I'm a woman, right? Discrimination. I hate this world, die, everyone. Although no, I feel sorry for everyone, let everyone live. No. Die, How did I cope with this? Pfft. I took off my clothes and ran naked around an empty clearing, swimming in a waterfall and feeling like a fucking forest princess. By the way, I always dreamed of being one. I even made a magic wand once, which, damn it, didn't work. By the end of the 4th day of my torment, everything was over, but I had become so unaccustomed to clothes that it seemed normal to me anyway. So I'm frolicking in the stream, and 2 delighted eyes are looking at me from behind a tree. And it's not the first day, this voyeur of a sort, staring at me. Hey, I couldn't stand such attention, stopping and turning towards the trees. Come out of there already, I put my hands on my hips, not embarrassed by my nakedness. And why the hell should I be embarrassed by it anyway? A modest young man in glasses came out from behind the trees, blushing and looking down at the ground. His ears were burning under the temples of his glasses, and he himself was stealthily casting a loving glance at me. Yamana, that was all I needed. What do you want? I asked, looking at him from my height. You. I like you, he admitted, blushing, and immediately lowered his gaze again. I could only widen my eyes from surprise and a fit of laughter. What? I asked again. I like you very much, he repeated more confidently, drawing his eyebrows together and daring to look up at me. Listen, boy, don't push me into sin, get out of here, I waved him off, splashing my feet in the water. I'm not joking. He stepped forward, blushing this time with annoyance. Do you see my size? If you don't see it, wipe your glasses. You are so beautiful. And your big hands and long hair, so long, he began to speak with the ardor of a lover. I'm serious, man, get out of here. I already feel like a male character from some shonen AI. Pure romance, yeah. I'm in the role of Miyagi. What kind of youth is this? We should be afraid of everything unknown and scary, and here they are falling in love. Are they completely nuts? I'm not going anywhere, the baby clenched his hands into fists. Well, fuck. I remember the picture where a lovesick duckling with a flower was chasing death. Sighing and rolling her eyes, she climbed out onto the shore, bending down to pick up her clothes. The young man blushed even more than before, but he didn't look away and looked at me, watching me as meticulously as a maniac as I got dressed. No, he was definitely beaten as a child. Against corners. With his head. Sorry, man, I love someone else, she had already made a seal to summon her wings. I love you so much that I can't live, he cried. Take me with you. I didn't want to get hysterical, because the boy was good. So, the last option. I'm after the girls. He paused, digesting this information, then determination lit up his eyes behind his glasses again. You just haven't met a worthy man. This is epic. The worst thing is that it became clear, hysteria will not help here. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but he needs a doctor's help. What's your name, anyway? I asked, looking at the sky. Toda. The guy shouted happily. I sat cross-legged, looking at him. Well, confess, what do you need, Toda? He looked at me for exactly 2 seconds, then looked down at the ground. The boys are making fun of me, and you are big enough to avenge me, the boy admitted. I was so happy, I was ready to dance squatting. From the bottom of my heart, bro, I nodded. Where are they? I'll rip their fucking heads off. No need for the head, he said in fright, desperately waving his arms. What do you need? I raised my eyebrows. You see, I'm a half-demon, all sorts of politeness is not my thing. I just want to be respected and stop being bullied. Well, fuck, that's what everyone wants, you know, I yawned. My blood pressure must have dropped from the cold water. Okay, so here's a plan. So, with trepidation and happiness, I'd grab you in my arms and fly with you to your village, drop you off there with all the honors, address you as my own master. Everyone is happy and stunned by your bravery, everyone is awesome, and I'll fly on. Okay, right? Toda was silent for a few seconds, apparently pondering the meaning of the word ZBS. Yes, that will be very good, he nodded. From the heart. She picked him up in her arms, sat him on her shoulder, and soared upward. The guy grabbed a strand of hair at the side of my head while sitting on my shoulder. I had a strong desire to brush him away like a moth. BRR, that was a terrible feeling. After telling me where to fly, he remained suspiciously silent for a long time, moving closer to my neck and tickling my ear with his hair. Wow, that's a nasty feeling, just a screw up. You smell very good, the boy said with a sigh. I almost threw him off. Hey, damn, I'm a decent girl. The fact that I'm a fan of BDSM with Itachi doesn't mean anything. You're not going to eat me, are you? She glanced suspiciously at her left shoulder. I really liked you very much. Dude, if you don't shut up, I'll send you a message right away. He obediently fell silent, sighing sadly and lovingly. Oh, there was such a cool thing with his village. It turns out he is the son of the village chief, of course, a useless son, so the villagers looked in amazement at the giantess who treated the human offspring with respect. The father there was practically jumping for joy, the mother was wiping away tears of joy, the village girls were casting loving glances at him, the guys were envious. My lord, she said, remembering Sebastian Michaelis's lessons, bowing politely. I must return to my place, so allow me to leave you. Stay, he looked at me pitifully. For my sake, please stay. Half-demons have no place near people, she looked tragically into the distance. Don't think ill of me, sir. Be my wife. Toda cried out in despair. Having expressed a superlative degree of amazement with a strong Russian word, she coughed. That is, bye, sir, and before they threw some cool chains on me, restraining the force, I rushed away at full speed. So, on the course Konoha. Because in this world, as it seems, normal people only live there. Commentary on Chapter 3. Dancing naked is fraught with danger. https://pp.userapi.com/c850420359/954C4/EIRRs-d6pc.jpg Chapter 4. The Great Future of the Last Avenger My name is Sasuke. Sasuke. My name is Sasuke. Suddenly. My name is Sasuke. Sasuke. No, seriously. When you get stuck, it's always sudden. I usually don't notice it, because I'm always like that, but now it hit me hard. What exactly? How should I know? I rarely understand myself. So I was flying over the trees, screaming a call like a March cat, and then, bam. A village. But, damn, it's definitely Konoha, even the high relief on the rocks matches. Oh, why am I not in the era of the founders? Hashirama and I would have gotten along so well. If only I could crush the entire Uchiha clan, ha ha ha. Without thinking twice, I landed on the very edge, there was a small lake there. Silence, not a soul around. I wish I had a blanket, a guy, and a tent. I could do without the tent. Maybe I should call my affectionate summoning animal, Moor? I'm lying on the grass, dreaming of big hands and strong hugs, and then suddenly there's some movement to the side. I roll over onto my back, staring straight at the uninvited guest. Oh my god, I smiled stupidly, propping my cheek with my hand and looking at little Sasuke, who was clutching a kunai, frowning and looking stern as never before. Who are you? He asked, deftly tossing the kunai to his other hand. Oh my god, I'm so scared, I'm going to piss myself. Half-demon. Let's be friends, my name is Rin. From his fixed gaze, I realized that I had gone a bit overboard with the pathos. Get out of here before I show you my power. He frowned so hard that he seemed to have squashed a mosquito that had landed on the bridge of his nose. Now that's the power of severity, I understand. Oh, shit, I sighed sadly, rising to my full height, when Sasuke suddenly pulled me down. I was shocked in a way I haven't been shocked in a long time. What's wrong, boy? I stared at him, lying on my back and watching him trample my chest, sinking into it. If you were a man, I'd take a closer look. I am a man, Uchiha responded, looking around carefully. Oh, that's interesting, I nodded, watching as he hid behind my left breast, looking for something. But not in that sense, he looked at me. Yamana, are you gay or something? Now that's a revelation. Small, that is, Sasuke jumped to the ground. Don't stand up to your full height, they might notice you, stupid. Okay then. Please give me something to eat, otherwise I'll die here, you'll get tired of burying me. PFF, what do you mean? He turned up his nose and left. Oh, I wish I had some ramen. By the way, here's a fish roll. And if you chop the crab stick finely, you'll get the same fish roll. Fuck, I have a whole pack of these Narutos in the fridge. Something jingled next to my ear. I have nothing but rice and fish, they told me sternly. From the heart, she clapped her hands, sitting down and starting to eat rice with both hands. Sasuke looked at me, wincing, and then said, "Can you predict the future?" Hee, I can, of course. It's a core exam at the demonic polytechnic. What, do you want to know? I nodded to him, throwing the last fish into my mouth. I think it was raw. Or maybe some people just don't know how to cook. I need to know, he looked at me from under his brows. Okay then. Just look, if you find out the future, you can change it by accident, aren't you afraid? He shook his head. Anyway, listen here, you'll grow up, fall madly in love with your brother, and marry Sakura. What? He asked angrily. Are you making fun of me? Why am I making fun of you? She looked at him with a sincere gaze. It's the pure truth. PFF. Will I take revenge on him or not? Well, I won't tell. I got mad. I'm offended. By the way, you're going to study with a perverted pedophile, who, on top of everything else, is also a fetishist. And before that, you'll have a passionate kiss with Naruto. And after studying with your amazing sensei, you'll see all 4 Hokage alive. What are you talking about? Sasuke's face darkened. What kind of wild nonsense is this? Well, fuck. I threw up my hands. If you don't want to, don't believe me. That's it, now I'm definitely offended. I turned away from him and lay down on my stomach, touching the water with the toes of my sneakers. Or maybe, well, screw it all, I'll tell him everything now, and then let Itachi at least cut me up with his katana, I'm just too lazy, here. And I can sleep next to Sasuke, what can I say? Overdone it. The heroine's idiotic humor. She uses the word overdid it instead of overdid it, based on the fact that there is borscht there. Chapter 5. Naruto's night glitches They woke me up at night. Sasuke was jumping on one leg next to me, holding the other one in his hands. Apparently he broke it on my steel, ribs. Get up, Sasuke hissed, standing on both feet again. It's dark now, no one should see you. Oh, listen, can I trample your copy ninja? I clapped my hands enthusiastically, standing up. Are you sick or something? Uchiha was indignant. Get out of here before anyone notices you. And be glad that I spared you. From the bottom of my heart, bro, I'm going to wet myself with happiness right now. I nodded to him seriously and summoned my wings. By the way. Already soaring above the ground, I smiled slyly. And I know your brother, ba. And, sticking my tongue out at Sasuke, who was twisted with anger, I fluttered away. Actually, the joy didn't last long. My conscience sat on my ears, gnawing at my brain about the need to go back and bang my forehead. Sasuke on the ground. Haha. A screw-up. And what's more, I'm a free half-demon, and I don't obey the system. Wow, Naruto's house. We must definitely hug it. Well, not the house, of course, but the owner. I landed as quietly as possible on the street and stood in front of his room, where he was peacefully sleeping. My face is just the size of a window, so I don't think the boy will be scared. I knocked carefully. Again and again. I freaked out. I knocked out the window. Huh? What? Naruto jumped from the noise. Yo, man, you want a little adventure? I waved at him from the window, where my face just barely fit. Fuck. He screamed, recoiling from the bed and crawling into the corner. Who are you? I am the great shinobi of Konoha, and don't expect mercy from me. Don't be afraid, Naruto. She moved away from the window a little and smiled. You're dreaming this, and I'm your night guest. Do you want to fly? Uzumaki scratched his head in his sleeping cap and made a smart expression on his face. It's actually possible to fly, he nodded, moving towards the window again. Aren't you lying? Don't be scared. I waved my hand. It's a dream. Even if you die, you'll wake up in your own bed. No, I can't die even in my sleep, the blonde said importantly, climbing out of the window. I want to become Hokage. Cool, and I'm a half-demon, my name is Rin, and, picking him up in her arms, pressing him to her chest, she soared upward. There was so much squealing. I didn't even immediately understand who was screaming louder with delight, me or him. From the heart. The main dream came true, now we can conquer the world. Nah, listen, Naruto suddenly asked in a serious voice when the excitement began to fade. You're a half-demon. Are you this big in real life? Yeah. And how do you live among people? TCH, no, I don't really live among people. But some people find my size cute, haha. Naruto was silent. And then I made a maneuver, and we both squealed with delight. It was supposed to be dawn soon. I landed on a spruce tree, Konoha was not far from us. It's a cool view, Naruto said, pretending to visor his forehead. Indeed, said a familiar voice behind us. I, with my head tucked into my shoulders and expecting a beating of unprecedented proportions, turned around. Itachi was standing on the neighboring tree, not even moving. Who's this? Naruto saw him. Hi, uncle. He waved his hands. Looks a bit like Sasuke. Apparently, he was following me. Or he was following his brother, and it was not for nothing that a whole flock of crows lived near his house. Hi, I smiled stupidly. Why did you take Naruto? Uchiha asked sternly. To cuddle, I answered, looking lovingly at the blonde head. Itachi, unimpressed, said. Give it back and fly away from here. Okay, I hung my head and took off. Naruto, who was listening to our conversation, frowned his light eyebrows in confusion. My master is evil, I complained to him, shedding a stingy, half-demonic tear. Is he your master? Uzumaki asked, thinking about something. Yeah. And he treats me like. Woo. Don't cry. Naruto asked, worried about me. Oh my god, I want to take him with me, my cutie. If you ever meet someone like me, a demon or half-demon, treat them well, okay? Okay, the boy nodded. I landed on his street and helped him climb through the window. I wished him peace, fixed the glass, and flew away. She landed next to Itachi, her mischievous eyes downcast. Everything is in place, Naruto is sleeping, the window is intact. What were you doing at Sasuke's? And he looks at me with such a look, the Sharingan bastard. Cut me with a katana, Itachi. I cried, falling to my knees. Well, I swear, I made a sign with a wide gesture, I just ate at his expense, and that's it. If you come near him again, don't expect mercy. Oh, my love. I cried, wringing my hands. I'm ready to accept the most painful death from you. But I'm not doing anything to him, I immediately took offense. Why are you limiting my access, damn it? He looked at me with an unreadable expression, then said, turning away. I know. But you know too much and talk too much, woman. And disappeared. Oh my god, he called me a woman. The world will remember this day. Lord, I love you. Thank you for sending me into this world. Well, in short, I'll have to fly away from here. It looks like I won't be able to trample Kakashi. Sad. Chapter 6. Sounds hot reception Only the Uchiha heart does not burn and does not hurt. Only the Uchiha heart will never love. And if my heart has become a temple of love, then I can't understand Itachi. And I'll knock on the closed door with my head again. I jumped along the treetops, occasionally flying up in a dance and singing an ode to my summoned Uchiha. This time my path lay in the country where my beloved snake was hiding. Orochimaru would be happy to see me for sure. By the way, I suddenly remembered the techniques. How many seals are there? 12? Well, you can create a factorial of 12 techniques. That's 3 million techniques, I personally counted them. And anyway, if I can summon eagle wings, why not make myself a fishtail? I decided and folded the tiger seal 6 times. Suddenly, in a suddenly appeared river, a mermaid of gigantic size ran aground. Jeans grew together, naturally, with legs and sneakers, so I will get a great blue tail with a pattern of laces on the plumage. There was not enough air, because of the gills that appeared. Having cancelled the technique and almost squealing with delight, I flew towards my goal. Well, of course, I beat up Madara's statue along the way. It was practically a sacred duty. No, that's a problem. Where should I look for Orochimaru? For 3 days now, I have been flying unsuccessfully over fields and forests, trying to find the genius crazy shinobi to squeeze him half to death. But he is nowhere to be found. I am starting to get upset little by little. Something like a bullet whistled past my ear. I was stunned. Hanging in the air, I looked down, searching with an eagle's eye for Kamimaru, deathly pale, but still ready to protect the master, as well as the entire Sound 4, tensed as if on a push, and behind them, my target for squeezing. And, damn, that's a bummer, it seems like they don't welcome me here. Orochimaru-sama. I shouted at the top of my lungs. I'm here on business for you. I added, waltzing closer to them. He twisted his big mouth into a grin and said something to his men. They relaxed. I was in no hurry to fully land, so, watching them and noticing Kabuto hiding in the bushes with a kunai, his glasses glinting in the sun gave him away, I smiled completely. I have a mutually beneficial offer, I raised my eyebrows, feeling like a real villain and generally epically cool. I'll take you away from this village for a couple of days, and your guys won't follow us. So, Orochimaru nodded, not hearing the rest of the phrase, and what will you give in return? What? Do I have to give something? Snake Sanina smiled almost affectionately and said to his people. Kill her. Is it just me, or do I have problems? Okay, let's get going. It's easy to say, but with my size it's not so easy to turn around in the air, in which someone's bones are also whistling, flying past my ears and catching my clothes. And already at liberty, I was about to soar into the air, as I was grabbed by the leg and thrown across the house. Orochimaru with his bone. I don't want to insult both of them, so let him be a student ran away, so I was left alone with the 4. And they had already accepted the 2nd level, no other way than by order, and it was Jirobo who threw me. And before I had time to jump up, push off the ground with my foot, as I was grabbed again. I'm a gentle girl, damn it, why the hell are you grabbing me like that, huh? She kicked him in the face with her other foot, forcing him to let go. Don't swear, he said, almost automatically. Call me to marry you, and then I'll obey. I snorted, noticing the others standing to the side. Okay, screw all this. Summoning technique. I shouted, biting my finger and making seals. I think my opponents were as surprised as I was the first time, not seeing the huge shadow of the creature. But how their faces stretched when they saw the Uchiha. Pa. Did you see? Bite me, bitches. KH. I cleared my throat, embarrassed, drawing attention to myself. Well, in short, I'm P. Noticing his gaze, I corrected myself, the opponents were too tough. Here. Orochimaru-sama, they cried. You're a half-demon, Itachi said, looking at this philosophically and not feeling any desire, judging by his appearance, to interfere in all this. Well, now. I'll haunt you like a ghost for the rest of your life if you don't help me. I stamped my foot, causing him to only look in my direction. You better look at them with such a look that they'll throw bricks at you. The Sannin arrived at the noise, saw the Uchiha, and grimaced. You have an interesting summoning animal, Itachi-kun, he remarked in a rustling whisper. I see all of your people hiding around the perimeter, Uchiha said calmly. YSSSS. I'm going to pee myself over this tone. She will fly away from here unharmed, he didn't even nod his head in my direction. And in return? Orochimaru narrowed his eyes slyly. The village will remain intact, as will you yourselves. And I will not let her wander around here, Itachi said, hinting that I was furious in anger. My eyes are like 5 kopecks. He's fucking bluffing. A real event is happening right before my eyes. Itachi is bluffing his opponent. I can't do anything except dance on trees. But it was from the heart. Realizing that the payment was worthy, Orochimaru called the people back, and I, proudly picking up the owner in my arms, soared into the sky. It was cool behind the clouds that hid us. I was silent, feeling that now they would give me a slap on the blonde head. But Itachi remained silent, skillfully pressing on my sense of guilt. What a mess. Don't be silent, I begged, carefully pressing his back to my chest. Well, since you acknowledge your mistakes, can I let you go with the certainty that you will not get into any more trouble? And if not, will you take me with you? I exclaimed in wild delight. I'll chain you up and you'll sit in the basement of the shelter, Uchiha said adamantly. I see. I would only sign up for this if my boss agreed to visit me at least occasionally. But otherwise, you can't expect anything from him, yeah. Well, I promise I won't try to squeeze anyone else. Well, unless it's you. I squeezed him a little harder, and the next moment he was on my shoulder, pressing the cold blade of his katana to my throat. Almost losing control of my wings, almost opening my own brick factory in the process, I groaned in fear. Itachi's appearance, however, was not cruel or wishing me a quick death. He simply sat on my shoulder and dangled his legs. Listen, I said cheerfully after a while, forgetting about everything. Let's take over the world, huh? The response was a meaningful silence, hinting that my wings were about to be cut off. You're mean, Itachi, I hissed, sniffling and looking at the world with huge puppy eyes. Oh, I'm always unlucky with the people I fall in love with. How unfair life is. Don't shout, he said to me quietly. I can hear you just fine. Yes, you hear me. But you don't hear me. And no one understands me. Oh, Mom, give birth to me again, beautiful and shapely. I whined, shedding crocodile tears. I heard some movement near my ear, and I shut up and stopped grimacing. Turning my head in his direction, I caught his gaze and smiled joyfully at the fact that he had not yet disappeared. Do you want me to show you a statue of Madara? And give you a tour of the entire Valley of the End, do you want that? No. Oh, well, okay. I sighed, leaving another small cloud of silence. In general, it's very difficult for us, half-demons, I began to speak, because I was sorely lacking communication. And here was such a delightful listener. We are born from the union of a human woman and a demon man. Our strength is random, and we are all deprived of appearance. So that we don't repeat our parents' mistakes, like. Some are luckier, their size is normal, but their mug is ugly, like my life. And usually, demons rarely make contracts with people, only out of great love, because they die on the same day as the person they got involved with. Itachi let out an uncertain half-sigh, continuing to maintain his composure. All half-demons usually require protection. I continued to weave something incomprehensible, so making a contract with us is easy as pie, all you have to do is defeat us. Well, what's the big deal? My life, my rules, PFF. And you don't plan, I hope, to die in the next 70 years? I asked and stopped short. Well, here comes the main angst. I'll live for 3 more years, and then we'll see. FCK. Thank you, fate. From the bottom of my heart. You're unlucky with your owner, Itachi said. Yes, I already understood, I responded gloomily. Lord. I immediately threw up my hands cheerfully. Well, we'll live for 5 years, and then to hell with it, what can you do? I have to go, he said. Come more often, my beloved, I nodded to him tragically and dispelled the call. In short, everything went downhill again. Either I save Itachi and I don't give a damn about anyone, or I'll scatter in the wind like my wings. Chapter 7. Kamui, Itachi, and the smoking technique The world is decay. Having thought about it, I realized that there is no one left to cuddle. It is futile to exist in this mortal world without cute hugs. Having yelled this out loud, I raised my head and saw a cutie in an orange mask, sitting on a tree branch like a rooster on a perch. Oh my god, that's who I want to cuddle. Why? I broke into a silly smile, reaching out to him to hug one of my favorite characters. The last thing I remember is my hand floating away somewhere in a strange way. Finding herself in Kamui's dimension, barely holding her but on a cubic block, she was upset. Well, Yamada, why don't they like hugging? What kind of introverted flash mob is this? Obito. I boomed into the air. Let me out of here. I won't try to hug you anymore. I rubbed my eyes and started to cry. The touch on his hair made him raise his head, and then he was pulled back into Kamui. The same clearing. Obito, opposite him Itachi. Squealing joyfully, she crawled behind the back of her dearest Uchiha. The same one with an absolutely impenetrable expression on his face looked into the orange mask. This is my pet, and I don't like it when people touch what belongs to me. And then I almost gave birth by immaculate conception. My insides ached with joy, which immediately overwhelmed me. They practically confessed their love to me. Oh, Itachi, what are you doing to me, you bastard? Come here, leave your brother, I will love you until the grave. Then keep her with you. Obito turned around. Why are you so cold, like an iceberg in the ocean? I started to wail, protected by Itachi's reliable back. You're so cool and wonderful, let me hug you. They looked at me angrily with their only Sharingan, then disappeared. It was high time to throw a healthy tantrum. Nobody loves me. I jumped to my feet, theatrically putting my hand to my forehead. Nobody needs me. I'm fat and ugly. No one will marry me. I'm going to throw myself off a cliff. I climbed onto a rock that barely reached my knees and jumped off, immediately falling face down. Itachi watched me with his eyebrows raised slightly, then slowly approached the head, waiting for me to pay attention to him. What, you also want to leave again like usual? I whined. Nobody loves me. I didn't just end up here. I was looking for you to tell you something. I became wary and, kneeling down, looked at him with distrust. I'm listening. His lips twitched slightly into a smile. When you told me about the connection between half-demons and humans, I wondered if there was a way to break this connection. No. I desperately waved my hands. Don't you dare. Don't even think about it. I'm not going to break any ties with you. I already love you, so I'll save you from any death, from any misfortune. You can use me however you want. I won't let you interfere in my life. Uchiha spoke absolutely calmly, without raising his tone and making his face stern. And I will interfere. I got angry. I will save you. I will resurrect you. I will throw the world at your feet. Or I will die with you. Live, stupid. Appreciate life. No way. I boiled over from his calmness. I hate you. Nasty, vile Itachi. Fine. No way. I was furious now, without embellishment. You won't get any hate from me. I love you more than life itself. Don't you dare die because of me. He smiled as he watched me struggle. A very big little girl, Itachi said, his Sharingan blazing in his eyes. I broke my fingers trying to make a fucking summoning seal. How he managed to break the connection, only he knows. I woke up in the same forest the next morning, or maybe even 3 days later, covered in huge spruce branches. Itachi, level 99 carrying, Yamada. Why the hell he broke the connection is unknown, but I think his idiotic manner of universal love friendship worked. To think that without his help I would have met an end of epic proportions. No, he didn't have enough time, apparently. Moron, what can you say? Actually, I smashed up part of the forest in a fit of hysterical rage. I don't remember what kind of equipment I used, because I didn't understand much at the time. But I think the whole area heard the howl, Itachi, you fucking bastard, may you live, you scoundrel Uchika, which lasted for 3 days. In short, I am left without the main angst of my life, without a contender for my limbs and guts, and without a protector. I don't even know what I am more upset about. That's it, I'm sad, I'll go somewhere to the sea to relax. No sooner said than done. So, guess what a beautiful young girl with curves is doing on the Côte d'Azur of some country? That's right, she doesn't attract attention. I had to swim in my clothes. I don't want to be caught naked by surprise. Well, if Itachi caught me in a negligee, then of course I would be embarrassed for the sake of appearances, and then everything would go. I mean goofy poshlo, not povov. I'm lying on the beach, thoughtfully gnawing on a bunch of bananas, when I suddenly hear. What people? It would be better if it was Haydn. I turn around and see the sound for. Without Itachi, I would never be able to fight them off, so I quickly jumped up, folded my wings seal and rushed into the sky. But Auric must have had his sights set on me, so they quickly concocted a plan, so they were already waiting for me in the sky. What a mess. Itachi abandoned me, I was left without protection, and they were attacking me. Imbeciles, take that. They have no pain. Recalling a couple of seals with which she had destroyed the forest, she cut down the enemy lines, angry at everyone and especially at Itachi. What a Sharingan bitch, huh? I hope he stays alive and restores the clan in his brother's place. It hardly looks like a curse. Having knocked out Tayuya, Jirobo, the guy with wings, only like a bat, and Kadamaru, I was completely busy with the twins. In general, I like it when guys are twins. It's my little weakness, but okay. He had spoiled so much blood that, without finishing him off, not even seriously harming him, because I was exhausted with those, I turned into a mermaid and slid into the depths of the ocean. They all grinned in unison and said, in the water, sorry, it was clearly audible. Greetings from Orochimaru-sama, they fired some kind of technique at me. Losing consciousness, I realized that I was in a complete and irreversible state of failure, from which only a miracle could save me. Or Naruto. Commentary on Chapter 7. Kamui, Itachi, and the Weed Technique. The chapter is dedicated to the stolen wallet in 2015. Am I nuts? Why dedicate chapters to wallets XD? Chapter 8. New summoning master Attention. The heroine's paranoid hatred of Kakashi. I woke up. Damn it, people, I came to my senses, I'm alive, my mother, this is epic happiness. Did Itachi really come to save me? I didn't have the strength to speak, but my brain was boiling with thoughts, so, opening my eyes with difficulty, I was surprised at how much the trees had grown and how suddenly the earth became closer. Oh, I see. This snake bastard figured out how to make a normal-sized person out of me. Of course, I don't believe in his good intentions. Am I a complete slowpoke or something? He probably wanted to kill the half-demon, but in the end he only made me look normal. From the bottom of my heart, Auric. I'll meet you and squeeze you for such a service. Haha, finally the phrase I wanted the best, but it turned out as usual didn't work on me. Good evening, a voice said next to me, and it seemed that someone sat down next to me. Don't answer, you're still too weak. And my knowledge of medicine is not that high. And then I shuddered. To the point of a crunch as my neck turned sharply towards the speaker. Kakashi Hatake. No, it can't be, oh my god, why? Itachi, it's all your fault, your mother is a woman, and your dad is a cockroach. I'm going to bite someone out of anger. Okay, I don't have enough strength, I'm barely conscious as it is, a stupid body with stupid weakness, TCH. Having cast a look full of anger at the platinum blonde, weakness prevented me from frowning sternly, I passed out. In general, I don't give a damn why the hell Kakashi, all rational, mother of all, Socionic Maxim, suddenly saved an unidentified body. I opened my eyes gloomily, looking at the daytime sky through the palm tree paw. He must want something. He wants to deprive me of the meaning of life, make me stop believing in myself, and then he'll leave me to die under a huge rock. And I'll have to take over the world out of grief. I don't want to take over the world, this horrible mask won't suit my face. I stared at Kakashi, sincerely believing my thoughts. He smiled kindly, tore himself away from his book and looked at me with one eye. And the other, Abatinsky's, was hidden behind a bandage. Bastard. He took away my eye and still smiles. How are you feeling? He asked, quite caringly. It couldn't be better, I whispered darkly, blushing with anger. Kakashi was surprised, so his headband rose along with his eyebrows. Phew. He closed the book and came over and sat down next to me. Actually, I asked more automatically, not thinking at all about getting an answer. He admitted politely, but I don't care about his confessions. Pfft. And anyway, what kind of rational asks questions just like that? Isn't this just empty shaking of air? Pfft, rational cretinal. Well, actually, I'm not so weak that I can't answer the question, I coughed. Hataki just smiled a fucking Mona Lisa smile and walked over to the fire, where something delicious smelling was cooking in a pot. He's probably cooking poison to poison me. Raising myself up on my elbows a little, I froze a little and was a little shocked. A fishtail was sticking out from under the ninja cloak that Kakashi had covered me with. There was probably some kind of poison in that cloak that would kill me. You're Yamana. Mother. I'm a mermaid, I muttered in confusion, feeling a wave of serious hysteria rising in my throat. Oh my god, my lord, why, save me, what did I do wrong, no. All this was said quickly and several times, and apparently this made Kakashi jump up to me and bring me to my senses with a strong shake and firm words. Calm down, I heard through the haze of hysteria, so much so that I wanted to freak out even more. Your fishtail is just a technique that you won't be able to cancel because the tail is damaged. The shinobi threw the cloak off me, and I saw that in the area where I was supposed to be on my hips I was bandaged with a grayish bandage. It was scary to imagine the size of the wound, but it was wildly interesting to look at it. I found you on the shore 3 days ago, Hataki told me, covering me with a cloak again and sitting me down, dragging me to the trunk of a palm tree. I realized something. Was the wound oozing blood? Yes. It seems you've hit a reef. Reminds me of the Sectum Sempra spell from Harry Potter. I can just imagine Auric opening a passage there too, and then dancing under the moon to create a real wand. Congratulations, Naruto people, you have your own personal forest fairy. Laughing hysterically, catching Kakashi's surprised look, I buried my face in his shoulder and began to cry with terrible force. Because now I am connected to him for the rest of my life, because he touched my blood. Thank you fate once again, super, from the heart. Calm down, the man said, just sitting and not moving, afraid to move. Oh yeah, he's a level 99 virgin. Just my profile, haha. If only he weren't himself. Are you afraid of women's tears? I got angry, moving away from him. I don't cry with acid, so I won't melt your vest. Why are you so afraid of me? And maybe it will make me feel better if I cry? Enter this into your database and let me cry normally. I tapped my forehead with my finger. Okay, Kakashi agreed. Cry. But I don't want it anymore. I flared up and, sitting down normally, folded my hands under my breasts, which remained a size 5, but at least I was wearing a blouse. This latent pervert didn't undress me, did he? He wouldn't dare. Pfft. He walked away from me again towards the fire, removing the pot from it. Hey, I called quietly. What? Hataki responded casually, stirring the brew with a spoon. Undressed me? There was a suspicious silence in response. The man turned to face me. I thought you noticed when you woke up yesterday. Ah. Oh, you old pervert. You wanted to stare at an innocent body? Well, look. She tore her blouse off, exposing her chest. The modest man immediately covered his eyes with his palm, turning away. I did it to dry your clothes, not what you thought. Yes? I asked sadly, putting my sweater back on. It's a pity, I sighed. Although what the hell, a pity. I hate you. Did you know that? I see, he said without much interest. And why? And I am a half-demon. I know your past, present and future. I know yours especially. And whoever touches my blood automatically makes a contract with me, so he will be obliged to protect me, cherish and pamper me. I see, Kakashi nodded. The rhyme is obscene, damn it, I grumbled. He's getting the point here. And now I have to live with this shit for the rest of my life. Thank you, Itachi. I'll rape you if I meet you. And Tsukiyomi and Kisame won't help you. And I don't need help, I usually do well on my own. Commentary on Chapter 8. The new master of the call. Even I was surprised by this turn of events XD. Madara, didn't expect him to appear so quickly? Yeah XD, and in general, it's funny to read about your hatred for Kakashi XD. Obito, what, did it go through? With this FIC, I made myself understand and love him X. Orochimaru, I remember there was another FICG__G, but it was irretrievably lost. I definitely wouldn't restore it. Chapter 9. A few snotty moments. There is such a thing among all fic writers, it is called depressniac. Well, I have never seen it in person. After 2 weeks of being with this mug that had turned gray, no doubt from the night bogeyman, I finally recovered. True, when I turned back into myself, that is, removed the fishtail, my hips ached badly, so that in the best traditions of vanilla snot I fell back, and this, okay, I'll do without nicknames, gently picked me up. My height never returned to me. Horrible, here. Now I'll start to be embarrassed to dance naked. What if someone rapes me? I even got used to Kakashi. You know how you get used to a sweater with a deer that your grandmother knitted, and you don't want to upset her, so you wear it out of pity. Oh well, there was even something good about this guy. For example, he cooks well. Seriously. At times like these, I wanted to just take him to the registry office. But the food quickly ran out, and I immediately remembered that I hated him. Although, in fact, a couple of things happened that made me at least stop yelling at him. Do you want me to tell you? Oh, why am I asking you? What, scumbag? I deliberately provoked him, furious that he was listening to me too calmly, reading his fucking book. With my tail, I can only slap the brush of feathers on the ground. You're reading, yeah. You abandoned all your comrades and are happy. A freak in a mask. I screamed expressionlessly, goggling at him. He only glanced at me. You'll get cross-eyed. Why do you hate me so much? He asked, turning the page. PFFFFFF. I spat at everything within a meter. You piss me off with everything you do, ahaha. You piece of idiot. I suddenly felt the delight that people have when jumping from a bungee. I calmed down and smiled maliciously. I am simply amazed at how a scumbag who betrayed all his friends can live, drink, eat and read porn books in peace. It is so funny that I can't even find the words to express my contempt for the one who left a friend to die when he could have saved him. Or killed the girl who madly loved him. You are weak, you lack everything that normal people have. And it's not about money or parents, but about feelings. You are pathetic. My eyes darkened from the excess of a sense of superiority and delight. You are deprived of all feelings, and have grown a mask on yourself, like a monster. Your face is a mask of your soul, vile and ugly, like your whole life. I was drunk with delight, telling him everything I thought about him. I was so happy that I was ready to blow his head off with a shovel, playing golf with him as the finishing chord, aha. Kakashi was silent. I interrupted my fun, deciding to deign to look at my defeated enemy. Hatake was looking over his book at the water surface visible not far away, his eyes seemed to have become glassy. I caught my breath. And when the book fell from his hands, I, without thinking about the consequences, rushed towards him, not paying attention to the pain and discomfort. In 2 seconds, she covered the distance between us and hung on his neck, pressing his head tightly to her chest, standing on fish knees, if such things even exist. Forgive me, you fool, do you hear? I said in a deep voice, sobbing loudly for some unknown reason. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. I will never remind you of this again. Just forgive me. I beg you. After 2 minutes of me crying and hugging, Hataki's voice was heard. It's too early for you to move. In response, I pulled back and leaned towards him, looking anxiously into his black eye. Of the two of us, you're the only one crying, he said in a quiet, soft tone, guessing my thoughts. And then something clicked inside me. Oh, yes, that's true, hee hee. I smiled stupidly, surprised at my own behavior. My hand suddenly accidentally slipped off his vest, and I couldn't help but nudge my nose into his zipped fly. Well, yeah. The only thing missing for this situation to be more epic is Jiraiya in the background. No, well, of course, I quickly rose up on my hands, meeting the gaze of Kakashi, who was just as red as me. Well, since you're okay, I'll crawl back, okay? I decided to turn the situation around as if everything was going according to plan. Who knows what kind of fucked up plan I have? All like my mistress, here. In short, I turned around and started crawling. But Hatake immediately caught me and sat me down. Since that day, in general, our relationship has somehow smoothed out a little. And I wonder how he didn't even squeak when I fell face down on his crotch. Balls of steel, I bet, haha. No, it's totally fine. I'm in the middle of an apocalypse, I'm the size of a foul-mouthed gnome, and I found something to think about. About Kakashi's balls. I have this flaw in my breed, I can't look the object of my love in the eyes, I can never confess my love or the slightest sympathy. With Itachi, it's crap. Old affection, toys, back and forth, we are both adults and understand this perfectly well. And then there's Kakashi. I suddenly have unfounded fits of rage when he goes somewhere. I want to beat people with axes and throw chainsaws at them. And when he comes, I somehow instantly calm down. Well. And I can't look him in the eye, yeah. I wonder what that means? Chapter 10. Long persuasion And he will hear ee, and he will be more faithfully ee, and he will replace the sun for me at night ee. Amaterasu is the goddess of the sun, isn't she? But my song is dedicated to Kakashi. Why? Firstly, he is also a Sharingan user, he could even summon the bone crap. And secondly, he played for a day and quit, even though he was not a villain, that's how people behave. He ran away, in short. He cooked me some food and ran away, he's been gone for 2 days already. Haha, do you know how hard it is for an introvert to get used to people? And I'm both an introvert and a half-demon. Okay, I'm just messing around. Oh. There was a rustling sound in the bushes, and Hatake emerged into the light without a single scratch. I pulled myself together, cleared my throat, and was about to say a kind greeting to him. Well, did you come, fossil? I almost got covered in mold waiting for you. Fuck yeah, spat the woman's intuition heartily, putting her hand to her face. Well, oh man, sorry. Kakashi, to his credit, merely raised his eyebrows, having gotten used to my manner of address after so much time. I'm expected in Konoha for an important mission, he said, approaching me and looking down. You want to take a team of brats under your wing? Cash, sunshine, drop this nonsense, and let's get away into the sunset. I rose from the ground as gracefully as possible. Please don't ever shorten my name like that again, he asked politely. What a mess, you have prohibitions all around. You don't even let me breathe freely. She sighed theatrically. Speaking of which, you can go wherever you want, he told me politely, smiling. Oh, and you still haven't realized your happiness? I blinked my eyes. Now you can't get away from me, because you and I are tied together like accomplices in a robbery. Well, you get it, right, kid? Like a true thug, I laughed in a low voice, poking him in the side with my palm. There are no living conditions for you in Konoha. He turned away and walked away. Oh, come on, I threw up my hands, deciding not to lag behind him. I've already been there, that's the first thing. Second, I know where you live, muhaha, so don't even think about leaving without me. Or you, like a real man, thought you'd save me, and then love carrot, a holiday romance, and in gratitude I would have given myself to you under the moon, and would have stayed here with a child in my arms, and then, suddenly imbued with my own fantasy, I began to sob. You're just an insensitive monster. A lustful animal. How could you? That's a very interesting sexual fantasy. Kakashi glanced at me, causing me to instantly shut up and look at him with huge eyes. He stopped and looked back. Oh, come on, hee, it's not that interesting, I said, embarrassed, turning away and waving my hands. It will be even more diverse if you don't leave me now. You know, Kakashi, you're not much of a shangsha player. I raised my eyebrows and suddenly a simple tune came to mind. Hugging dances, the Spaniards dance around, and we dance the lezginka in orange boots. And of course I didn't fail to dance a particularly mesmerizing dance of a drunk gorilla during mating season. No hearing, no voice, this is like a preliminary and control shot at your aesthetic taste. Okay, I became serious. Listen, even if you leave me here, I can call you at any time, just as you can call me. We are now tied for life. I've done enough stupid things in my life, he said, turning away. And this is the most epic one, right? I asked happily, jumping next to him like a mountain goat. Where did you live before this? Oh, where haven't I lived? I've never lived in a house, I've never lived in a village, I've never slept in a normal bed. It's a mess, poor me, she grabbed her head, realizing the full horror of the situation. If never, then I don't think there's any need to start, he glanced at me. Ha. 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 You will not enter Konoha with me, Hatake said after a few steps. Yes, I can crawl in. It's not really important to me, I shrugged. And then it short-circuited for me. Listen, you. I got furious, standing in his way. You cured me, saved me from death, pulled me